the 49ers are favored to win this game. And I don't think anybody's surprised by that. The 49ers, when they're healthy, are the best team in football. Yeah, they're favored by 2.5 points. Not a surprise. Is a surprise to Kyle Shanahan. Here he is from yesterday when he was asked whether he's bothered by the fact that the 49ers are favored on the road to beat the Eagles.
Does it bother you at all that you guys are the favorites going into this game? They're the home team. They've lost one game, but you're the favorites?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I don't really know how that stuff works, so I don't really know why. It is random.
Well, I mean, it's not random. Here's how it works generally. The sports books want to have equal money on each team, so they make the VIG, the 10% that the winning side pays. You bet 11 to win 10. That's how they make their money. And if you hit it just right, where it's, and I'm just using round numbers for ease of conversation, $100 on the 49ers, $100 on the Eagles, the sports book doesn't take a bath. And I think every once in a while, maybe the bookies get a little tempted to push it one way or the other to invite more action on one side because they think, they're gamblers too. I mean, it's no fun if all you're trying to do is rig it so it's equal betting. Every once in a while, I think the sportsbook operators think, hey, we can play this a little bit and make some extra money here. But that's the reality. People generally view the 49ers as better than the Eagles. When they're healthy, they're better than the Eagles. So it doesn't surprise me to get equal betting on each side. You got to make the 49ers a slight favorite in this one. And if they were playing in San Francisco, the 49ers would be favored probably by 4 or 5 points.
I'm a little surprised by it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not. I mean, I didn't expect to open it up and look at the 49ers favored by 2.5. Like we've talked about, I'm with you and your thought, right, of that, yes, when they're at their best, they're the best team in football, 100%. I'm there with you. But at the same time, when they're not at their absolute best, they lost 3 games, and the Eagles don't lose games and find a way to win, and they were in the Super Bowl last year, and that was kind of a monumental upset last year that they lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're at home. So that's where I guess I'm a little surprised. Like I didn't expect to see that, and I think Shanahan probably saying that, one, yes, he would probably like to feed to his team that they're the underdogs, and now that's kind of taken away. 2, I think in football world, people, how football people operate. They kind of just look at it and go, wait, that team went to the Super Bowl. That team's got the best record in football. We're favored? That doesn't seem right. I think that's base level football thought. It's kind of how I think a little bit. Just like, hey, they've proved it, they've done it, but, like you said, the sports books obviously see it a different way and have a different formula and take some of the things you're talking about into account. But that, I think, that to me adds to the personal part of this whole thing too, where the 49ers might have a chip on their shoulder about last year and they should have been in the Super Bowl and all that. This gives the Eagles a little chip on the shoulder to be like, what? We beat them in the NFC Championship game. I know the quarterback got hurt. We went to the Super Bowl and we're 2.5 dogs at home, right? That's where I think it's going to add a little chippiness to the Eagles side of this thing, and Sirianni will be able to feed that to his team.
There's one other wrinkle that I think I may have mentioned earlier in the week that could be a factor in this game. The 49ers played last Thursday night, and they didn't have a very difficult game against the Seahawks. The Eagles fight, scratch, and claw deep into overtime. Yeah, on a short week after fight, scratch, and claw to beat the Chiefs.
Right.
They go home. They do this Bills game, 37-34. It went down to, just a couple of minutes left in overtime?
I'm going to say it was 2 minutes.
Yeah,
2 minutes. Yeah, it was 2 minutes left, right.
Yeah, and so I think that creates an overall burden physically, mentally, emotionally on the Eagles. It's gonna be a challenge to get back to full speed, full strength, ready to go when you're facing a team that is as good as the 49ers.
That's valid.
For me, you make a great point. Nick Sirianni has an extra tool in the toolkit this week to get his guys fired up. Nobody respects us. Nobody believes in us.
They said they should win if Brock Purdy wasn't playing. They would have won and gone to the Super Bowl. They're still talking this year. That's where, this has got a game that's all over it. It's going to have a pregame fight, right, and scuffles throughout the football game. Guaranteed. The way both Sirianni and Shanahan both embrace the renegade attitude of their football team. We know that. Right? And Sirianni, he's emotional enough to sometimes he wants to look like he wants to get out there and fight with them, right? Shanahan's a little different on the sidelines, but he's probably quietly, mother effing his guys and tell them to be tougher and do all that. And that's where it's great. And that's where I can't wait. It's got a lot of old school feel to it, this football game. And 4:25 on a Sunday afternoon is going to be a lot of fun.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.